Stress. I'm pretty sure most of us were stressed out of the speech. So stressed out that most of us got frustrated and wanted to quit. But if you're listening to this, that means you sucked it up and did the speech. But I'm pretty sure some of us didn't think we need that kind of stress in our lives. When I think about it, do we really need stress in our lives? I mean, all it does is give us a headache and a bad attitude. None of us want that, including me. Stress can have a negative effect on our minds. It can also have a positive effect. By the way, I've dealt with stress and have a couple ways to deal with it. So today, I'm going to be reviewing the negative effects while being stressed and the positive effects and how to deal with stress. First, let's get one thing clear. Stress is not an illness. But that doesn't mean it's not harmful to the mental state. Stress can cause different types of mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, psychosis, and post-traumatic stress. A blog in 2018 stated studies from scientists have found that stress can affect memory, as well as if a person experiences something extremely traumatic, they could possibly develop post-traumatic stress disorder. Someone with this can be triggered by certain events and have flashbacks. They could also be very sensitive to most things. Stress also affects your mood state. I have found that when people are stressed, they can become more aggressive towards others and also become more violent. Stress can also have an impact on your physical health. As I said before, stress can make you more aggressive. Did you know that your behavior is a reflection of how stressed you are? Being stressed out enough can also give you an increase of high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. And obesity is up there because some people tend to eat like crazy when they are stressed. Studies shown in a Mayo Clinic that people that suffer with depression usually have stomach problems, and that their behavior comes with this. The behavior that comes with this is usually not exercising enough. Another study is that when people feel overwhelmed, their bodies tend to be more fatigued. They also start using tobacco-related products more often. Another one is when people have a lack of motivation or focus, they tend to have chest pain. Their behavior comes with drinking more and misusing alcohol. With so many negative things, with so many negative things about being stressed, do we really need stress in our lives? The fact is, yes, stress is also beneficial to your mental state. If something happens twice, it is most likely that you will be able to sense it and deal with it properly the third time. That's how humans evolve through experience. It is the same way through stress. Researchers have suggested that a certain amount of stress can make you stronger and better manage your stress. Richard, last name unknown, theory states that experiencing stressors, which is stressor is basically something that causes a state of strain or tension, and with some recovery can actually make us more stable mentally and less reactive to future stress. Stress will always be around us. Being alive is stressful, but it's the fact that sometimes you have to look at stress as a lesson. Stress helps with responsibilities, and stress is also not always something that's bad for you. For example, I had an essay that was due in a month. I told myself an essay due in 1 month, no problem. But soon each week passed, and I didn't work on it until due days before it was due. Finally, I worked on it. The whole time I was working on it, I was so stressed out, thinking about if I'll be able to finish it in time before the due date. When I get stressed out, I usually get canker sores, which are not contagious, but they are like ulcers developing on the soft tissues in your mouth. They are mostly caused by stress, minor injuries to the mouth, and types of food like acidic fruits. They're painful and it makes it hard to eat and talk. But the point in this is that when I get stressed out, there's a chance of me getting canker sores, as well as almost failing the class. The lesson for this is that every time I get a big assignment with a huge window to do it, I start to get a head start on it before the due date is almost near. With a certain amount of stress, it can be positive. It just depends on how you look at it. But overwhelming stress is very hard to cope with, which is why I'm going to tell you how to deal with stress. People who deal with stress shouldn't have to fight it alone. You can talk to a family member or a close friend, but be careful. I say this because when our stress has left an emotional scar, it tends to affect the way you act around others. You could possibly push people away by mistake. Most of the time, the people that suffer from more than just stress tend to push the very people that are trying to help. This is something we have to learn from stress, that we need help from another person, not just ourselves. Stress is something that's hard to deal with, and there's no right way to fully counter stress. It just happens. Not just stress itself, but the things that come with it and could be a long-lasting effect are more dangerous than stress itself. Like depression, anxiety, and trauma. When hit with this, we just want to give in. We don't want to fight back because there's no hope for us. We don't deserve to come back, or it's just impossible to get back up. In life, we think too much about how much harder we can hit back. But I feel like it's not about that. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep pushing forward. You don't give up and you never give up. If you give up, it just means you don't respect yourself enough to finish what you started. Pain, stress, depression, traumatic experiences, all these things are just lessons in life. Battle scars from what you endured. from what you survived. When you're in this world of hell, there is only one way out, and it's through a long, dark tunnel, but you're too afraid to go in there because there's a train coming. And all you can do is let it hit you and try to find your legs. The negatives, the positives, and how to fight stress. At the end of the day, I view all of this as a lesson. It's time to look back at what I didn't give up on. I had somebody I cared about a lot, and she cheated on me. The emotional stress was too much, and I blamed myself for it, and I ended up almost stabbing myself because I couldn't figure out whether or not to forgive her or not. I chose myself over her, but soon after stress, I was depressed. I didn't know how to come back, and I wanted help, but something inside of me told me that only I can climb out of this pit. So I decided instead of finding someone new to heal my broken heart, I would heal it myself. I worked on myself. I turned my rage and anger into power that will fuel me to keep improving myself physically and mentally. The best moment in our lives is when you're beaten down and you rise back up. It's that will of never giving up. No matter how hard it seems, you will keep getting back up. No matter how many punches are thrown at you, you must never give in. Don't let the world tell you what you can't be. Don't let the guilt, the regrets, the what ifs, or anything hold you back from what you want to achieve in your life. You have to cut off the anchor no matter how hard it is. You have to keep pushing forward in life no matter what. Even if it seems impossible, you never ever give up. The pain you are in today is the developing strength you need for tomorrow. By Caleb McNamara. Thank you.